Alright guys, diecastmania here with another video, and today we're going to be doing a model review of the Conrad 1/50th scale Poclain 350 CK front shovel. This is part of the Heritage Collection, model number 3. It was released, I believe, about 10 years ago, and it is model number 2924/0 for reference purposes. So anyway, this model is quite nice. A little bit of history on the real machine. The 350 was introduced by Poclain in 1982 as a replacement for the 400 model, and later on it replaced the slightly smaller 300 model as well. So anyway, the 350 had a 451 horsepower Cummins diesel engine. They also offered an electric version, which I'm not sure how many were sold or if they actually sold any, as a 60-ton machine in an electric configuration. I'm not sure how popular that would have been. But anyway, this model is spec'd with a 4.4 meter or 14-foot 5-inch shovel boom, the 3.4 meter or 11-foot 2-inch shovel stick with the direct linkage. They also offered a version with like a like a dog bone linkage setup around. I believe it would have been here, and it would have connected to the bucket that way. I believe that would have been for the front dump buckets for a little extra curl. But anyway, they had 4 1/4 to 5 3/4 cubic yard front dump or bowl clam buckets. So anyway, this specific model, the 350, was offered from 1982 under Poclain until 1992 as the Case Poclain 350B hydraulic excavator, which through the years that it was produced had a few minor changes here and there. But anyway, on with the review. We're going to start off with the tracks and undercarriage. As you can see, the idler and the sprocket are plastic, and the rest of the undercarriage is metal. But as you can see, spring-loaded tensioner, nice metal tracks. But being Conrad, as you can see, there's some gaps between the tracks, and those are not painted, as I believe Conrad assembles them, and then they rivet one of the, or two of the links together at the ends, and they just hang them and paint them, which results in the middle sections not being painted, or the overlaps, I mean. But anyway, as you can see, the tracks roll decently nice, even on a smooth surface, especially with the tensioner to keep it nice and tensioned to the ground. But anyway, it's quite a nice looking model. The paint and graphics are very nice and sharp. As you can see, it replicates the classic white and red Poclain colors very nicely. But anyway, we're going to go on with the functionality of the boom, stick, and bucket. An interesting thing is the amount of cylinders for the boom. You can see, I believe that would provide a bit of extra power, and as you can see, boom goes about that far, and it can go down deeper as well, like that. The stick goes out that far, so you can have a nice reach. Bucket dumps about that far. The bowl clam opens and closes, but there's no hydraulic cylinder. It's just aesthetically modeled rather than actually modeled. But yeah, we can bring the boom in like that, and the bucket has a nice range of movement. Nice deep dump angle. And as you can see, 6-tooth bowl clam bucket. And a neat feature, or a neat detail, is they actually casted in that Poclain logo right there on the bucket, as you can see. And you can even see where they modeled the little connections for the pins, which is neat as well. And on one side there's a little bit of a drilled out hole, probably for lifting eye or you know, little setup purposes when they're assembling the machine. But anyway, as you can see, metal hydraulic lines casted in, which lead to rubber lines. These ones just peg in, and they're all sorts of trouble. depending on what position you set the model in, they might want to pop out. But as you can see, nice metal cab guard for working in the quarry. Inside the cab is pretty basic. Brown interior, seat, joysticks, console which has all the warning lights and indicators, pedals on the floor, and a very uncomfortable looking seat with that screw sticking right through it. Guess someone might have over tightened that screw and drove it right through the seat. But nice touch, these little lights here and here. Pretty much all of this model is metal besides for the exhaust manifold, the cylinder casings, and the obvious parts like the windows, the insert, and the drive sprocket and idler. But the upper structure, the white part, is another piece from the bottom, which is the red. Now, in the middle we can see the engine area. It's located on the central flap, as opposed to the 300 and 400, which would have had the engine and access panels off to the side with the raised cowlings. And this is what I believe would be the fuel reservoir, or hydraulic would be here, I think. And as you can see, the whole thing is set up for easy access. You open the doors and on the real machine, and it would be just pretty much a walkway through there to access everything from the sides and have a centralized engine, which I guess makes sense. You can kind of see the shape of it there and the exhaust manifold. And over here we have the metal handrails, which are kind of thick, as this is an unrevised casting from the 1980s, but they do look quite nice. And this captures the whole lines, the whole spirit of the 350 very nicely. It's a real nice model depicting an older machine of a manufacturer that hasn't been around for quite a few years now. But anyway, this is suitable for 35-ton haul trucks, or smaller, maybe a little bigger if you really wanted, like the 769C. That works, and it's about the size of a 245 cat. So anyway, there you go. That is the Conrad 1/50th scale Poclain 350 CK front shovel as part of the Heritage Collection. This is model number 3. So anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching.